Joining me now to unpack all of this is John Lauro, attorney for President Donald J. Trump. He was there in the courtroom today. John, they want this trial to be speedy. This was repeated all day long on the other cable networks. They want it to happen before the election. What does that tell you tonight?
It tells me everything, Laura, about what's going on, about the attack on our Constitution. I've talked a lot about how this has criminalized First Amendment speech because President Trump, like all of us, has a right to redress grievances, has a right to protest an election that he felt was unfair, has a right to campaign on a position. And they've attacked that right, not just for President Trump, but for everyone. But now, today in court, which was a very terribly sad day, they're attacking other parts of the Constitution because they want to take President Trump to trial in a few months. They want to deny him his Sixth Amendment rights to counsel, to give me and my co-counsel Todd Blanche an opportunity to prepare. They want to deny President Trump his due process rights, to look at documents, to get witnesses, to use our subpoena power. They want to deny all of him those rights in a rush to judgment for one political purpose, and that's to uphold the Biden administration. Make no mistake about it. This has Merrick Garland's handiwork all around it. This case was brought, had to be approved by Merrick Garland, and interestingly enough, why the bum's rush on this case? Do they feel that there's a problem in the other cases that are being orchestrated and they need to bring this case to trial in a couple of months in this venue? What does that tell you?
Well, they definitely don't want to name any of the other co-conspirators, correct? Because that would slow them down. I mean, if this was such an assault on our democratic process, which obviously it was not, Trump left office voluntarily, the electors, had the, vote certified, all of that. So that all happened. But they actually want this to go forward as fast as possible. And so they'll let go of the co-conspirators, correct? That's key to this.
100%. This is a fast-moving railroad without any concern for justice. Speedy trial rights are a defendant's speedy trial rights, a citizen's speedy trial rights, not the government. The government has an obligation to ensure a fair trial. And in this case, what we need is a journey to the truth, not a railroading of an American citizen, let alone a former president. So what we have here is a strategic move by the Biden administration to get to trial as quickly as possible because, for whatever reason, and we know the reason, they think they can do better here in the District of Columbia than they can do in a more diverse state like Florida.
Well, I think that's a harder argument for you to argue because it is very difficult to change venue, and in these types of cases, it hasn't been successful. But I think you're onto something about what they want to prevent. They want to prevent the people from having their say next year, whatever that say is. Bill Barr, the former attorney general, no love lost, obviously, between Trump and Barr, he disagrees with the free speech defense, and this is why.
They're not attacking his First Amendment right. He can say whatever he wants. He can even lie. That does not protect you from entering into a conspiracy. All conspiracies involve speech, and all fraud involves speech. So, free speech doesn't give you the right to engage in a fraudulent conspiracy.
John, your response to that?
Laughable. Absolutely laughable. What's the fraud? Tell me what the fraud is. What's the fraudulent speech? Donald Trump, President Trump, was out in the open petitioning the state legislatures, petitioning the courts. There was nothing fraudulent going on. This is absolutely protected First Amendment speech. For Mr. Barr to say that is a complete and utter ignorance of what the basic law is with respect to freedom of speech. The First Amendment protects not only speech, but it protects the right to protest, and it protects the right to petition for grievances, which President Trump did. To characterize this as fraud when there's nothing being done in secret, there's nothing being hidden, there's no deceit.
Hanging it all. Yeah, John, they're hanging it all, or a lot of it, on the supposed conversation between Pence and Trump that Pence took contemporaneous notes of, where Trump said, "You're too honest," I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, you're just too honest. But I mean,
well,
to me,
let's-
that's just a throwaway line. That doesn't prove anything. But man, they're hanging a lot on that one phrase.
Good luck. I'm ready for them at trial. I can't wait. But something about the conversations between Mr. Pence and Mr. Trump. President Trump was getting advice from an esteemed constitutional scholar as to an array of options that he could take in light of the discrepancies and what was going on in 2020. Those discrepancies were well known, and they were being litigated. Professor Eastman laid out a series of options that were discussed with Vice President Pence. Vice President Pence disagreed on certain issues, but ultimately what President Trump said is, let's go with option D. Let's just halt, let's just pause the voting and allow the state legislatures to take one last look and make a determination as to whether or not the elections were handled fairly. That's constitutional law. That's not an issue of criminal activity.
John, August 28th is the next date that you guys are supposed to appear, or you'll appear for the next hearing. Thank you. We're going to be following this. We really appreciate you joining us tonight. Now,
hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.